speak about social injustices.
Oh, yeah.
He spoke about
Black of the berry, the sweet of the juice.
His mom being on drugs, so him being directly affected by the drug epidemic. Because Pac never sold drugs.
What's up, guys? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, please smash that like button on the video and enjoy the show.
People found my stash before.
We keep looking at this from the perspective of, like, how could your alarm bells not be going off? But, like, looking at it now the other way, this is kind of textbook entrapment. They wanted to, you were doing something else, which I guess we're going to get to how they wired that in, but, like, they then wanted to make it into something else that was more based on your record, and they kept sending someone with a wiretap to go back over and over again to convince you to do it.
Yes, over
so the
multiple
judge,
times.
Wow. That's
so he said, well, because that, agreeing to do that could get you 20 years with my criminal history. But being that I didn't agree, I didn't do the deal. Like, had I showed up with the shit, or like, okay, I'm on my way to get it now. Because when he called back the day of, like, all right, I'm gonna call you and we're gonna do the deal. Well, when he called me, I was so leery and paranoid, and I kind of got a word that is something wrong about this. So just skip it, right? I got word that to skip this deal. So when he called the day of, I just didn't answer and I didn't show up. But had I answered, showed up, or attempted to make the deal, like...
But your brother...
No. The other shit. We did a deal almost to verify that the guy who's ordering it is okay.
Oh.
But we did a deal with him before. That only validated that the guy was cool. Okay. Because we did a deal with him, nothing happened. So he's cool if we ever revisit it in the future, which I just didn't want to do. You know what I mean? That's the deal where it was an actual transaction, which is where I got sentenced. But so the day he called, he's like, "We coming." And no, he said we're gonna do it tomorrow or the next day. Like, everything's gonna be set up. But I already got a call from somebody else that be like, you know what? I just don't like this play. This play is not looking right, man. Like skip it. Like, we're not doing this, man. If it's in your best interest, man, don't do it. Pretty much. You know what I mean? Basically, the call was a little bit more intense than that, man. But the call actually went like, that dude is a federal informant. They already got you under indictment. Don't do this deal, but you already gonna go to jail for the deal you did with him.
Right.
I got that call. That's the exact call that I received that made me see a ghost. So when he did call for it, I just knew not to do it, and I fell back and shit. But I was already fucked up. So now I'm thinking, why has nothing happened yet?
Yeah. Why haven't they come?
Why haven't they come back? Why haven't they come back? If I already sold to their undercover.
But did they move on completely from the credit card stuff?
Well, they actually still tried to, cause I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I got a call saying if this is a setup, like, all of that shit is gonna go bad. But this is how I make my money. Am I being investigated for this? I kind of fell back on that, thinking that if I stop doing this right now, then I'm in the clear. However, when they finally came and they did look for me and communication devices, laptops, when they came, I didn't have none of that shit no more. So they couldn't charge me with that. But although they brought it up in court and they was trying to tie in both, like, okay, he's a credit card fraud cocaine dealer, right? The judge is like, I can't accept that. What do you have on that? He had a large amount of cash. He had a large amount of cash, and he had 3 cell phones. Like, I need something else, though, more than just this hearsay from this guy. So my conviction, the 7 years that I actually got in the federal prison, was more related to the drug thing than the dark web. I mean, than the credit card thing.
But you can talk about the dark web thing.
I could talk about that because, okay, so basically, I was statute of limitation, but basically, it seemed like, what do you have, like this dude made all this up. We still need some concrete evidence. We need some where is that computer? If we get that computer, if we get those communication devices where he was doing any of that, like that Silk Road guy got caught in San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
of all places, man.
Oh,
I said, how the hell could this dude, the GOAT of all times, how could he be so close but so far, and how he was looking and how he was moving, man? It just let me know that all the shit that I thought I was doing was very small, breaking the law, committing crimes, circumventing systems, cutting corners. It shit just never worked, man, because no matter what level you make it to, you'll still do it. He had back then $200 million in Bitcoin, right? How much was it?
It was a
100. It
was
would
a
go
lot.
with 100 and million in Bitcoin in 13.
They took all of it, and then I think there's some that they claim that government-wise they claim they've never found.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I bet they never found it.
Yeah.
But I was in the federal detention center reading every bit of the story about him because the owner of the Silk Road, which he started lacking to when he brought violence into it. And whenever violence comes into anything.
If it was him.
If it was him?
If it was him.
Violence.
There's some questions there.
That he was a front man, huh?
There's not just that he was a front. Like, we know he created it. I'm very comfortable with that. Like, I think it's crystal clear he created it. Mm-hmm. But he was
the one communicating?
He was the Dread Pirate Roberts. But there is controversy as to whether or not there were multiple Dread Pirate Roberts. People with access to that.
I believe that part. However, they felt like they got a person they can pin it on, and again, right. like case closed. Now shut up about it. But a new Dread Pirate, the real Dread Pirate, could have still been available, but that laptop, you see how important it was for them to get that laptop and get it open?
Yeah.
So me, for instance, getting caught with my laptop would be cooked. That laptop, which just
so you never got caught with any of that?
Burnt up. Nah, I didn't. I didn't ever get caught with any of that. However, some of the members got caught with it.
How are you able to talk about this today?
So
if this isn't what you really got rolled up on.
So talk about this today. Okay, I know a lot about the dark web, financial crimes and fraud because, again, most people that did it, they did it for survival. Most people that did it, they don't really understand the system because, okay, so here
I understand that, but if you're talking about crimes that you guys committed of like an organization you were running, that then a lot of these things you didn't end up getting charged for, are we past the statute of limitations for you to talk about this?
Okay, so for a crime like that, that's like statute of limitation on a financial crime, I want to say is what, 7 years?
I think it totally depends on the crime.
It depends on the crime, who was affected, and
Let's hope we don't find out.
Okay, because here it is. Okay, me giving a detailed account of what happened, it's still it's loose enough for room to fill in some blanks. So what does that mean? Like, okay, so a lot of these things happen, and they actually happen, and I was directly involved in them, right? However, if you want to go fine-tooth comb this and come with something to say how are you actually connected to this? Who were these people involved? We're gonna need some people to point you out that they actually did this with you. We're gonna need some people to really verify this, because I mean, I didn't take. I don't feel like I put enough of a dent in it to be on the list of most wanted. However, I participated in something for financial gain that definitely I'm not proud of, that I would tell anybody to not do. My direct involvement in the people involved and how to put the puzzle together exactly, I mean, that's still to be determined. So I'm here today. My point of even speaking about this is to let anybody know, don't do that. Don't even try that. That shit is watered down and played out, but it's still people online selling you the idea of it.
But you still you ended up doing like 6-7 years for, it was pretty much all on the drug side.
All of my stuff came from drug related felonies. However, so my stuff, I got arrested for fraud in Florida. I got arrested for, but all they could really get me for was possession of.
When was this?
This was in 2012.
Yeah.
2011.
So while you're at the peak of this.
Yeah, while I did get arrested because I was inside of a store in Aventura Mall, and a person at Apple said that I looked suspicious, and they stopped me on the way out and said that I attempted to buy something with a stolen credit card, and I had fake IDs on me and credit cards in 3 different names in my possession. I had that in my possession at the time of arrest. So with that being said, so I went down there, investigated it, but this guy racially discriminated against us because when we looked at the camera, none of that happened. None of that happened.
None of the things he claimed that was suspicious.
I hired a lawyer over $15,000 in Florida, back and forth to court. and they wanted to see where was this guy ever suspicious and what, like, he did the same thing everybody else that come in that store do. So you really singled him out because he was black attempting to buy a MacBook Pro? Like,
and so they had to drop everything.
Dropped everything, like lost the money on the lawyer and the bail, but it was no conviction of it. It was no conviction for that. You know what I mean? Because I actually didn't even attempt to buy the shit. I just kind of scanned the same. But all I really had on me was a fake ID. And then inside the car, they just found a lot of little different miscellaneous, allegedly. You know what I mean? Allegedly, they found all this stuff, but it looked bad. But talked to my lawyer. He just like, we need the tape. I mean, if you did what he said, then that is probable cause. But if not, so back to what I was saying. So, fraud, dark web, anything of that nature is just not worth it. Like most people won't succeed and make close to the number of money that I was able to touch off of that.
What made you this time, because you got out, you've been out 6 years now. What made you not want to go back to something like that or any kind of scam? Because like now you have a real career. Finally.
Yeah, okay, finally. So first of all, 19 years, being sentenced to 19 years, doing a total of like 11 years, 8 months, close to 12 years of that. Across everything. That's close to 12 years. Man, I don't have much more. I can't do that again. I can't do that. And then I got a family. I have much more to live for these days opposed to back then. It was just like risk it all, bet it all, win big, or deal with the downside, which, you know, how bad could it be? So these days, I just realized that in prison, meeting people who I probably wouldn't have been able to talk to had I not went to federal prison. So I worked my way, when I was in prison, I worked my way down from a medium to a low to a camp. So a medium is more hard. It's a little harder core crimes, more politics, drugs, violence, guns. Low, a little less of that, less politics. You can interact with different people, conversate, take these ACE classes, learn from people who you may not have been able to interact with had you not been at the same place they were at the same time. And then a camp, they call it real sweet because you have you have mainly criminals who are financial crime, fraud, scammers, insider trading, tax evasion. You have people who created real multi-million-dollar companies and that did very well for themselves in life that you're able to have access to. So that woke me up that none of the stuff I did was worth anything.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.